The 2016 MAAC Indoor Track and Field Championships are this weekend. Here with Monmouth head coach Joe Compagni as we look ahead to his team's performance in the upcoming championships. And coach, first of all, how are you today?
Good. Good morning, Eddie. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. Always good when it's championship week, right?
Yes, exciting week.
Before we look ahead to the exciting championships, as you mentioned, let's look back. Your teams with a very successful performance at the meet. You hosted the Collegiate Invitational this past weekend. What did you see from your teams in that tournament at home, in that invitational, that gives you confidence going into this weekend?
You know, it was an exciting weekend. It was the biggest meet that we had ever hosted in the MAAC. There were 24 schools that sent their whole team or part of their team here, so we were excited to host. It was nice for our folks to be at home. I think, of course, they're comfortable here. That's where they train. We're fortunate to have the MAAC as a place to train and to do some meets, and that was the only college meet we did this year. And they really showed that they're starting to turn the corner. They're starting to put the pieces together in their events to get ready for this time of the season, which is what we want the most.
Well, you know, Coach, to hear you say something like that, this program has been so successful for so long. Outsiders are going to say, oh, that team's always so good, though. To hear you say something like that they're putting the pieces in play, they're starting to figure it out. What do you look for specifically from your team? Obviously, you hold them to a higher standard than everyone else does.
We do, and of course, it's nice that we've done well before, but every team has to come together on their own, and this team has taken some time. You know, we've had some weeks where things have gone well for some event groups and some individuals, but as a team, we felt like we weren't there a couple weeks ago, and now we're starting to see us getting to where we need to be.
And I guess it's the best time of year to do that, right? Playing or doing your best going into the championships. You mentioned some individuals that are having really successful indoor seasons, and just going into the championships, you get 3 individuals honored by the league for their performance, and that has to give not only you but them confidence going into this weekend.
Absolutely, absolutely. All 3 of them had great weekends, and it's been fun during the season to have different people get that honor from the MAAC. They know that they have to show up when it comes time for this weekend. They have to do their part, as well as our whole team.
Yeah, Coach, you've been through so many of these championships, indoor and outdoor, and interesting to hear you mention how this team is now starting to figure itself out. But are there a couple of points, are there a couple of key things that you want to see out of your men and women this weekend that you think would help them be more successful at the Armory?
There are a few things. I think that first we have to be a team. It sounds maybe cliche to say, but they have to know that they're in it for each other, and it's not just going to do their event. They have to know that the environment's a little bit different at a championship. There's going to be more intensity, and there's going to be more folks who are going after it at a higher level. So if they know those things and they go in and they execute what they can do, knowing that it's the same thing that they've done but in a different environment, in a more competitive environment, then we should have a good weekend.
And I know I'm always careful to mention it to coaches, but all this team has done, not only in the MAAC, but in your stay in the Northeast Conference as well, as just win championships. And what about your coaching staff, your preparation, what you guys do, has you playing and has you doing your best around this time of year? Because we've seen it here at Monmouth for years where the team always seems to peak at the right time. Obviously, don't give away any secrets, but what about what you and your staff do really make that happen?
You know, I'm fortunate that we have a great staff. We've had the same staff now for 7 or 8 years, so we work very well together. I can count on them to get their groups ready, and I think there's some expectations from the team, from the veterans, that there is a expectation of what they need to do. That doesn't mean it's always going to happen or that it's automatic or it's guaranteed, but they know that we've been there before and that if they do things right, they have an opportunity to do something special again this year.
I think you make the best point. Like you said, it's not to be expected every year, obviously. It has to be worked for and worked towards every year. And, Coach, we really appreciate it. I know it's a big week for you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Eddie. Appreciate it.
The head coach of Monmouth University men's and women's indoor and outdoor. We'll talk about that in a few weeks. The indoor championships this weekend at the Armory in New York City.